Hello, friends. Welcome back to Story Time. Today, the story is about Calvin Coconut by Graham Salisbury. Chapter 4. The First Fat Raindrop. Clarence played football and worked part time at the Chevron station. He spoke pidgin English, like most people in the islands. He had Polynesian tattoos and drove a pink car with a sound system so loud it loosened your teeth. Two of the speakers were right behind my head in the back seat as we cruised over to Kenaho. Stay out of trouble, Stella said to me and Darcy when we got to the Biodo in Temple. Then she and Clarence went up to the meditation gazebo and pretty much forgot about us, which was fine with me. Clarence had said about zero the whole way over. He was one of those big, quiet Hawaiian guys who looked like they wanted to eat you for lunch, but they were really nice. He didn't try to boss us around or anything. I banged the big gong a couple of times. Then Darcy grabbed my hand. Come on, Calvin, I want to feed the birds. I gave the gong one more whack. Bong. Darcy pulled me away. On our way through the temple, we stopped to look at the giant golden Buddha, big as a 3-story house. Buddha, I said, looking up at him. Can you make storms go away so people can have parties? Darcy grabbed my arm. Shh, you are not supposed to talk to him. Why not? You are supposed to be quiet. The Buddha studied me with his peaceful look. I'm happy to see you this morning, Calvin, he seemed to say. That was what I liked about the big golden Buddha. He always seemed okay with everything. Like, don't worry, be happy, life is good. Darcy yanked on my arm. The birds, Calvin, the birds. We bought some feed pellets at the temple store and took them out onto a small bridge over the koi pond. It was still early. We had the place to ourselves. Instantly, a swarm of birds fluttered in to steal the feed out of our hands. But some were shy and you had to toss pellets to them. A grey and white bird with a red head stood on a rail nearby, too worried to jump onto our hands. What's that one called, Calvin? I shrugged. Got me? All I know is myna birds. Those and those all are red ones. Cardinals? Yeah, those. I ran out of bird pellets and rubbed the dust off my hands. Be right back. Need more bird feed. In the store, the perfect present for Darcy popped out at me. Yes, I whispered, grabbing it. I paid for the feed and the birthday present, which I wrapped up in the bag and stuffed into my cargo shorts pocket. Here, birdie, Darcy said, tossing a few pellets over to the red-headed one. Then the first fat raindrop slapped down on my arm. Another. A gust of wind whooped across the koi pond, scattering the birds. Oh, I shouted, here it comes. The grey sky darkened. Trees staggered and swayed in the wind. A sound roared through them like a huge truck dumping gravel. I pumped a fist in the air. Ew-yah! Wild rain bounced off the bridge. We have to find Stella and Clarence, Darcy shouted over the roar of the wind and rain, over by the gong. I shouted back. We tossed our pellets to the fish and raced across the bridge into the temple and past the giant golden Buddha, who was still fine with everything. What's your hurry, Calvin? It's just a hurricane. Stella and Clarence ran down from the gazebo. We go, Clarence shouted. In the parking lot, Clarence's pink car sat alone. We we would have to run across a long bridge that spanned a jungled gully. We will get soaked, Darcy shouted. Mind, got a towel in the car. Clarence grabbed Stella's hand and Stella grabbed Darcy's. A huge tree branch crashed down behind us as we took off across the bridge. Chapter 5. Awesome. Whoo! Clarence yelped as we fell into the car and slammed the doors shut. What I call rain. Stella's sweat has stuck to her head. She grabbed the towel and tried to dry it, then rubbed Darcy's head. The rain thundered down on the roof of the car. I love it. I shook the rain off my head, flinging drops around the car. Hey, Stella said, are you a dog? Not many things were as exciting as a big rain, and this was huge. We headed back home. The wind rocked the car at every stoplight. Rain pounded down so loud you had to shout to be heard. Darcy leaned closer to me, stretching near seatbelt. By the time we got down into the valley below Mauna Valley, the rain was coming down so hard, Clarence had to slow the car to a crawl. You couldn't see the road. The wipers were going as fast as they could, and still you couldn't see. Awesome, I shouted. It was like being tumbled around in a wave, where you didn't know which way was up and which way was down. Cars pulled over to wait it out, but Clarence kept crawling ahead. Not smart to stop here. I leaned closer to the front seat. Why? Lowland, cloud, flood. Oh, I whispered. I would never seen a flood, but I knew what it was. Lots of water making rivers, where rivers shouldn't be. We crept uphill and back down the other side into Kaila. The street lights were out. Traffic inched ahead, one car at a time. Fog grew on the insides of the windows. I made a smiley face, then wiped it into the square so I could look out. Everything was blurry. Lightning blinked in the black sky, followed by a huge blast of thunder that exploded overhead. Holy smokes, I shouted. Darcy gripped my arm. I leaned closer to Clarence in the front seat. Have you ever seen it like this before? No. You really think it will flood? Probably. I sat down, back, cool. The first thing I checked when we got home was the river. It still looked the same. My skiff sat in the long swamp grass just above the water line. Probably I should haul it higher up, I thought. My dad gave me the boat just before he and Mom split up. I didn't want to lose it. We ran from the car to the garage and burst into the house. Mom was in the kitchen. She looked frazzled. Thank heaven you are all home safe, she said. I have never seen it rain like this in my entire life. I wiped rainwater from my face with my hand. Mom, we couldn't even see the road. Clarence had to drive slower than you could walk. Mom looked at him. Thank you for driving safely, Clarence. No problem. Stella grabbed his hand. Let's go find your dry t-shirt. Look in the hall closet. Mom called after them. There is a box with some of Johnny's old clothes in it. Mom pushed Darcy and me out of the kitchen. You kids jump into something dry too. In a minute, I said, and ran to our big living room window. The river sailed past our yard, draining water from the lowlands to the ocean just a few blocks away. My skiff was probably filling up with rainwater. I should have left it bottom up. Mom and Darcy joined me. The river is getting fatter, I said, and muddy. Mom crossed her arms. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Chapter 6. Rising Water. Darcy and I changed and went back into the kitchen. Mom wanted to know how it was up to Levitt's house. She grabbed the phone, started to punch in his number, and then stopped. There was a puddle of water on the counter where we ate breakfast. Mom frowned and looked up at a slow drip blinking down from the ceiling. She handed me the phone. Here, call Edward and see how is he doing while I take care of this puddle. I punched in his number as she put a cereal bowl under the drip. The phone rang 6 times before he picked up. Edward, I said, it's a storm. He laughed. That it is. Boy, how are you doing down there? I was just about to call your mama. We are good, I said. Mom wants to know how you are doing. Fine. The dogs are howling, but my pig likes it. You got electricity? Yeah, mine is out. Lucky, the phone still works. Your mama there? Yeah, sure. I handed the phone to Mom and ran back to the front window to watch the river. Now, stuff was floating in it. The current was picking up almost like a riptide. I saw a piece of lumber go by, a tree branch, a cardboard box, and some white packing foam. The wind banged up against the house, shaking it. Trees and bushes swayed and danced around the yard, and the rain was falling sideways. Sharp drops snapped against the window like firecrackers. A striped beach ball from somebody's backyard sailed across our lawn and bounded down to the river. It made me itchy to get out into the storm. I didn't want to miss any of it, but who would go with me? Darcy was hiding under her blanket in her bedroom with Officer Buckle and Gloria, her favorite book. Julio? Mrs. Coconut, I heard Clarence say from the kitchen. I can use the phone? Over there by the toaster, Mom said. Thanks. Calling home. See if they're okay. I got up and went into the kitchen. Clarence was wearing one of Dad's old t-shirts. It was too small for him. The bowl on the counter under the drip was filling up. Mom was looking at the ceiling, chewing her thumbnail. Hey, Clarence said into the phone. Hi, Stella's house. You okay there? He listened. The wind outside howled. Yeah, good, Clarence said. I'm going to stay here for now. They live by the canal. It could flat. Yeah, bye. He hung up. Everything okay? Mom asked. Can't find our cat is all. Mom nodded. Probably found a nice dry spot to wait it out. That was when I remembered Streak. I hadn't even thought about her. Where was she? I ran out into the garage. She was not in her usual spot by the door. Streak, I called. You here? Streak came crawling out from under the car with a smudge of car grease on her head. I squatted down. She was trembling. Come, I said, picking her up. I got a better place for you. I carried her into my room, which was right there in the garage. When Stella came to live with us and took my old room in the house, I had to move into the storage room. Ledward helped me clean it up and make a bedroom out of it. I liked it. I set Streak down on my lower bunk and piled my dirty clothes around her to keep her warm. But when I went to the door, she jumped off and followed me. Don't want to be alone, huh? I let her into the kitchen. Mom looked at Streak and raised her eyebrows. Just for the storm, Mom said. She's scared. Clarence waved me over to the window. You better drag up your boat, the water coming higher. I looked out to see the river lapping at the stern of my skiff. Thanks for watching the video. continue the remaining chapters in the next video. Thanks for watching again. Bye.